I don't understand how it is I know about my students' gay teachers and my kids know about their gay teachers. If they're not out, how is it that I know and my kids know? And my kids don't care and I don't care. How is it that that is happening? That if everybody's not telling, how is it that I know and all the kids? I don't get it. I don't buy it, because I do think that there's plenty of all across our schools where the students are very well aware of their teachers and other administrators who are LGBTQ. That is not something that, and honestly, most of the kids these days, it's like, well, whatever. You know, it's really a non-issue to them. At least it is in my house, and for the most part, that I don't see the hiding of it that you are telling me. I'm not saying that there aren't probably some. To Ms. Maloney's point, that this is not about losing status. Let me be very clear. This is about being able to let my daughter be able to change her clothes for PE or her sports without having to be uncomfortable that there is or could be. And I am not saying that anybody who is LGBTQ is a pedophile. I am not. But I am saying that there is an opportunity with this opening of unisex bathroom and locker rooms, and to say that that's not a possibility is to ignore a reality. That this can and will be used in a way, if not by another student trying to be cute, stupid, or funny, or a teacher who acts badly, and we know we have had some teachers that have acted badly this year, and visitors to the building. We protect our students from visitors who may be carrying a weapon, but there are some silent weapons that they can carry into a bathroom and be in a position where our teenage daughters are not protected. They do not have protections, and you are choosing to elevate the needs of some who, and those needs can be met as they have been in our system, compassionately, respectfully, and carefully, with collaboration with families and students going through a difficult time, a difficult process, or a celebratory time or process in their life, becoming who they want to be, wherever they are on that spectrum. But you do that at the sacrifice of the majority of students who identify as the sex that they were born with, that are in bathrooms unprotected. And this is about being able to be in those private moments where you are not dressed without having to fear. Because you're already, I don't know about you, I remember dressing in the bathroom in junior high, and that was a very scary experience. I didn't enjoy that. I was talking to my husband about this. Just recently, I was at a spa, and even then, as a grown woman, I went off to a private area to change. This is still someplace I'd like to feel safe, which is when I'm changing clothes. And I can't imagine as a teenage girl or boy, because you're already awkward and lack self-confidence enough to add this as a challenge to you. And that is not okay to just ignore that and to slap it away as if it's nothing. This is not okay. That this is not about losing status, not about that at all. It's about being able to feel safe in your very vulnerable moments, and that is the reality. And it bothers me that you ignore that. Suicidal ideation. I get that that is more prevalent in that community, but I do believe that there's more to that, making that a factor than just this. Unsupportive families are probably very primary to that. And at least that's what I was gathering in the little bit of reading that I read, that there was a lot more factors to why that may be present in those students than whether or not they have more than just the anti-bullying policies that are in place in a school division. I also, how are we going to be dealing with, again, I have a daughter. When she plays sports, I would feel bad if my daughter isn't afforded the opportunity as a woman to excel in her sport if a male student who identifies as a woman who wants to be on the sport that my daughter is participating in and excels and does better than her, taking away her opportunity at being excellent as a woman in the sport that she chooses. That, I don't know. I'm struggling with that as a person. I'll just be honest. That's something that I am sitting here going, how do we deal with that? And I'm not alone. There's a lot of people out there that are wondering about this. I saw this recently in just, professional biking. A woman did not get first place because it was a biological male that was able to win the race. And, there was some media around that and brought up the discussion. So it's not just an easy thing. It's not just a no-brainer. It's not easy. It's not embarrassing for me to have these concerns about protecting our students in our bathrooms and locker rooms. It's not nothing. Thank you.
Mr. Hornberger.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the staff mentioned a couple documents. The VSBA recommended language for their foundations policy. I think I'd like to see that, and I think that should be posted on board docs. There's also one about VHSL's policies that would be helpful, I think, and have those posted that relate to the issue of sexual orientation or gender identity and how that would affect the sports teams. That's very helpful information. I think it should be posted if we can.
Okay, we'll do that. Thanks. Ms. Kroll.
So for me, this is not about bathrooms or bullying or sports. And I think one of the challenges here is the language that was struck in line 7, educational and employment, made this policy so vague that it does potentially open this up for some problems for students. And certainly none of us are saying, well, we want to make sure one group of students are safe, but the others can be at risk. We're okay with that. So I think we need to look at this language as we move this forward. And if we need to, Dr. Richards, indicate all of the categories where this would apply so that we're not talking about athletics and we're not talking about bathrooms. In this general policy, we should do that because I think a lot of the concerns on both sides are about student safety. And if we can mitigate half of those concerns, we should do that for next time.
Is the will of the board that I would do that in addition to the original? What is the direction for staff?
Dr. Richards, I would like us to provide context for board consideration, and board members may wish to draft legislation or provide not draft legislation, draft language, or ask for staff input on draft language, but we certainly can provide information in terms of context. But I wouldn't, recognizing the diversity of opinion here, I wouldn't want to put staff in the position of attempting to set forth a consensus language for the board.
Okay. Additional comments? Okay, so board members, I'm guessing this won't go on the consent agenda for the next board meeting. So we'll go ahead and have it moved to the action item for our next board meeting. On to item 10.05, equity in education.